यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारी यमुनतीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज धन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी ऐसी भक्ति श्रीमद् भागवतम भगवते वासुदेव ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते from Srimad Bhagavatam chapter title कहा भगवत कहा तम अधाय भगवत आदाय गृह यदा बहि Yo Jhanya Tasya Sam Samadha Agruha Bahir Yo Tatasya Shaukat Sam Samadhaya Agruhat Bahir Yeshat Bahir Yo Tat Sam Samadha Bahir Gaure Bhagavat Prachodha Tam Samadaya Sat Yada Gavahir Gantum Yesha Tarhyata Yoga Jhani Kashta Shaure Bhagavat Prachodha Tam Samadaya Bahir Gantum Yesha Tarhyata Yoga Maya Janinanda Thereafter Gaurihi Vasudeva Bhagavat Prachodha being instructed by the Supreme Godhead. Tam San Samadaya carrying very carefully. Aha Agruhat from the maternity room. Yada when Bahi go outside. Esha desired. Tarhi exactly at that time. The eternal energy who also never takes. Ya Yogamaya is known as Yogamaya. Ajani took birth. Nandajayaya from the wife of Nanda Maharaja. Translation. Thereafter, exactly when Vasudeva, being inspired by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to take the newborn child from the delivery room, Yogamaya, the Lord's spiritual energy, took birth as the daughter of the wife of Maharajananda. Purport. The Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura discussed that Krishna appeared simultaneously as the son of Devaki and as the son of Yash, along with the Yogamaya. As the son of Devaki, first appeared as Vishnu, and because Vasudeva was not in the position of affection, Vasudeva worshipped his son as Lord Vishnu. Yashoda, however, pleased her son without understanding his godhood. This is the difference between Krishna as the son of Yashoda and as the son of Devaki. This is explained by Vishnu Chakravarti, authority of Harivamsa. तस्मै वन्देऽहं अद्वैतं नमस्ते निर्विशेषशून्यश्च जय श्री नित्या श्री अद्वैत श्रीवासादि हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम तत्प्रति यदा बहिर्गन्धेश tत्संदेशन. Thereafter, exactly when Vasudeva, being inspired by the Supreme Person of Godhead, was about to take the newborn child delivery room, Yogamaya, the Lord Spiritual birth as the daughter of the Maharaja. Here we are seeing birth of Lord Krishna. His birth is amazing. There is a verse in about the amazing nature of the soul. Ashcharyavat, Ashcharyavat, Oti, Ashcharyavat. Soul is described by Krishna as amazing. Krishna says that soul is described by many as amazing. Some see the soul as amazing. Some care about the soul's amazing nature. Just as soul is amazing because of its full connection Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then naturally we can expect how amazing, how wonderful the Super Soul, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Shri Krishna. That's why we see that even the birth of Krishna is so amazing. Whole chapter is dedicated to the birth of Lord Krishna. The birth of Lord Krishna is fully amazing. Sometime before we were just speaking about the differences between the birth of a conditioned soul, the birth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is a big difference, huge difference. In fact, it is completely different. How Krishna is taking birth, Atmamaya, Krishna is taking birth. Krishna is taking birth under the internal potency, and all the conditioned souls are taking birth under the external potency. There is a big difference between Krishna's parents in this world and the conditioned parents. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. So here we are seeing that how Vasudeva is getting ready to take his son, the Supreme Person of Godhead, Krishna, the other side, Gokula, at the order of Supreme Lord. I just seeing one particular word, very interesting, Shaurihi. Shaurihi here refers to Vasudeva, but generally we know that Shauri refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Not sure whether particular root word for Shauri, but if at least they know, they can correct me. I think the Shauri word comes from a descendant of Surasena. Sura, right? Sura is the father of Vasudeva. Naturally, he can be called as Shauri, the son of, or the descendant of called Shauri. Just as Arjuna is addressed as Bharata, and simultaneously we know Parikshit Maharaj is also addressed as Bharata by Sukadeva Goswami. So Bharata means one who comes in the descendant of Bharata. So just as Krishna is coming in the descendant of King Shurasena, he is also known as Shauri. Otherwise, anyone who is coming in the descendant of Vasudeva can be known. Generally, Krishna is more popular than Vasudeva is also described here. Now we see that Vasudeva is getting ready to take his son. So Krishna, his appearance in this world is always amazing, as I was saying. As contrast, all this birth of Krishna is very deeply to be studied, understood, because just by studying the birth of Krishna, one can attain liberation from birth and death. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, so just by knowing the birth of Krishna, the transcendental, not mundane, beyond the material, then one becomes free from the repeated birth and death. So it's very important that we study how Krishna. So this is actually Ashtadat. Actually, anything connected with Krishna is always amazing. We see that Krishna's birth, how it is happening, it is very amazing. But anything connected with Krishna is very amazing. Continuing our reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, you will see that everything that Krishna was doing was very amazing. Walks, it was. He speaks, that's amazing. In fact, every step that Krishna was doing is very amazing. Just we see here that how Krishna entered the womb of Devaki. That itself is very amazing. That is not at all common. This is asadharana. This is a word we can find. Sadharana, it's Tamil word also. Sadharana refers to a common thing. Asadharana refers to something uncommon. Krishna's activities are always asadharana. It is not at all common. Right from Krishna's entering the womb of Devaki, that is completely uncommon. When a conditioned soul enters the mother's womb, that is why rejection of that itself is obnoxious. Right, we also formed. But this is how the conditioned soul appears in this material world through the process of injection. But that doesn't happen with Krishna. Krishna appeared in the heart of Vasudeva, and then he was transferred to the heart of Devaki. Then he entered the womb of Devaki. This is how Krishna entered the womb of Devaki. This is asadharana. Nobody appears in this world like this. And we see that Krishna's growing inside the mother's womb, that is also amazing. Generally, when the child is in the mother's womb, it is of so much of pain for the mother. Mother has to struggle. It's not so easy to bear a child. Mother is actually much of anxieties, things, pains in the 9 or 10 months of really so much painful for the women who delivered a child know that delivering a child is painful. But that's not the case with Devaki. Devaki was not suffering because Krishna was inside her womb. We see that when he entered the mother's womb, it's completely in a dark room. But that was not the case for Krishna. And Devaki was also not suffering because of Krishna's entrance. On the contrary, Devaki was glowing. That's what Bhagavatam says. Devaki was completely glowing. Even Kamsa could see that now the child inside the mother's womb should be Vishnu because she is glowing. But that's not the case. When the woman is pregnant, naturally women are happy to carry the child, but still much of pain and suffering. But that's not the case with Krishna. Krishna's growing he is not born, so Krishna is also not growing, but still Krishna vision in Devaki's womb was completely asadharana. And also child, the mother is suffering, that is one part, and the child inside the mother, that is also child is completely suffering in the mother. That's not the case. That whole Bhagavatam, third canto of Bhagavatam of Lord Kapil, where we see how the child suffering, so much suffering for the child to be in the mother. But that's not the case for Krishna. And one more interesting thing is that the child is so much suffering that it is offering prayers to the Lord to get released from the child is so much suffering. A fortunate child will be able to remember its past birth and then it prays to the Lord, Adokshaja, please release me from this horrible prison house of, please release me. It is so much pain inside the mother. So the child is offering prayers, Krishna. This is the position of a conditioned soul. Fortunate child, but generally this is the position. Child is suffering and then by fortune it can offer a prayer to him, Lord. But that's not the case with Krishna. Krishna is inside the mother's womb and the demigods are coming and offering prayers. This is also a difference. This is how Krishna's birth is completely asadhan. This is not at all a common birth. The demigods are coming offering. How Krishna coming out of mother's womb, that is also uncommon. Not the general way birth happens in this material world. Much of suffering for the factor. The delivery of the child by the mother considered to be one of the biggest pains in middle existence. The doctor should under the list of the topmost pain that one can undergo, that one at the delivering of a child. The child delivery is so painful that any woman after delivering the child, she thinks it should be there in some of Prabhupada's lecture. Prabhupada quotes that any woman delivering the child after the delivery, she thinks she takes a firm vow that let me not have a child at all again in my life. But Maya is so powerful that again goes for second child, third child, fourth. So the point is that delivering a child is very painful. That's not the case with Devaki. He present there, and then there is no difficult at all for. So Krishna's activities are always on. And when Krishna came out, he was very beautiful. Was completely ornamented. Was having so much of hair. That's not how the birth also happens. And the child started speaking. The child was four-handed. Krishna's birth appeared as a 400 person. Started speaking. Where is the birth of a child? Speaking immediately after the birth. What happened? All the activities. That's why I said every step that Krishna makes is completely sadharana. I spoke. I gave instructions to Dev that let him be. Dev is getting ready to transfer. as activities. Maybe for a few conditioned soul, because of his pious activities, the activities may be uncommon. He can become a very uncommon person, he can become a very great person, a ruler of the whole world. He can be a very powerful, he can be a very beautiful. These are some uncommon qualities exhibited, some pious souls. Otherwise, all the birth of all the uncommon persons or common persons is double only. That we should birth and actually from this chapter we just transcendental. And just a few days before, I was just getting a lecture how Krishna is giving birth. That is also common. We see that now Krishna is taking birth, but Krishna is also giving birth. Krishna is giving birth to everyone. That by the mercy of Krishna, we are all living in it. As the Upanishad says, Shaik Shata Jata, that Krishna is just glancing over the material energy and then the energy agitated, then the whole creation, the birth of the whole universe is taking place just because Krishna is seeing. So Krishna is producing. Krishna is taking the appearance of all living entities just by seeing. That is also amazing characteristic. Just by seeing, Krishna could make someone appear. Just as Krishna, he made Lord Brahma take his birth. In fact, Lord Krishna is so powerful that without the assistance of a female could give birth to Lord. That is also that here in the material we need the help of the opposite sex. Then on the union only we will be able to. But that's not. We see that Lakshmi was nearby. So Lakshmi was nearby, but still Krishna, without taking any assistance, Lakshmi gave birth to Brahma. That's why Brahma is called Swayambhu, one who is born without the help of a mother. Not that he himself was born just like that. He was born through the agency of Krishna, but without any contact with the male person. This is Krishna's asadharana position. He is amazing, always amazing. He is always a, a mystical person. But Krishna is a mystical person. That's why to understand Krishna, it's only possible by devotional service. Bhaktyama abhijanati yavanyaschati. By devotional service. History of these. Because this is uncommon. Anything uncommon is above our head to understand. Sometimes we see a person who could speak so nicely. We wonder how this person could speak so nicely. He's able to quote from here, there, really speaking. This person is so wonderful in performing mathematics. How he is able to do that? So we see that this is very uncommon. So some certain things which are uncommon are very difficult for us to understand. So Krishna is always uncommon in all his activities. Naturally, not possible for us to understand. Only by his mercy we can understand. And that mercy is bestowed on the condition of devotional service. Let's say only by devotional service we can try to understand common person. So Krishna is just by seeing and then he is producing without any. He's just seeing and then and here particularly we are seeing that how Krishna is simultaneously appearing also in the court. This is also a mysticism. In fact, many do not see by the talk that Krishna is also having his birth. He is simultaneously born as the son of Devaki. Also amazing for us. Birth in both. That is not possible for us. It can appear only in one place. That place, but that's born in two places. Krishna can take birth in any place. We see that in the Leela of he appeared in the pillar. That's why he is known as born from Sambaja, yeah, one who is born from a pillar. And Krishna also appeared from the nose of Brahma. That is also how Krishna is appearing. But all these things are all amazing. We have a standard way of taking birth. Shastra says that the living entities can take birth by four processes: Vedaja, Vedaja, Udbija, Dharayuja. Andaja refers to the eggs. That refers to the umbilical part. Anda, egg, by the universe, which is egg, is called Anda. Andaja, through the eggs one can take birth, or Svedaja, by perspiration one can take birth, or Udbija, one can take birth, seed can take birth, embryo, Jarayuja. So all these types of births are possible for the conditioned souls. All these things are actually very obnoxious. How the egg, that is also how it is seen, how these eggs are getting hatched. That is also not a very wonderful process. How Svedaja, how birth is taking birth, how living entities are taking birth, perspiration. That is also obnoxious. But Sveda refers to the perspiration. Through perspiration, these germs are taking birth, all these harmful living taking birth. So this is also very obnoxious. In Bija refers to the ants, ant life, and how they are taking birth through the seed. That is also in the darkness only. The seed has to be sown under the ground. So all the births in this material is complete darkness. It is Jarayuja or Andaja also. Say the Anda, that is also dark, and seed has to be sown under the dark. Vedaja, that is also. All these things are all darkness. All these births are considered to be very dark birth. That's not the case. Krishna is always born very bright. Even when he was the womb of Devaki, he himself was glowing, that through his glow, Devaki was glowing. So the birth of Krishna is always bright. Wherever there is light. The different types of birth that we have in the material, always in the. That's not the case with Krishna. It's always amazing. Here, particularly, we are seeing that types of that we are seeing how the difference between Krishna, the son of Yashoda, as the son. Srila Prabhupada, he writes here that as the son of Devaki, Krishna first appeared as Vishnu, and because Vasudeva was not in the position of affection, Vasudeva worshipped his son as Lord. Yashoda, however, pleased her son Krishna without understanding Godhood. This is the difference. You can understand the position of Vasudeva and Devaki is very, very high. I don't know what I can take on it, but I think we can see that Yashoda pleased Krishna without understanding his godhood. I was just reading this particular line, how Yashoda was pleasing Krishna without understanding his godhood. We always think that Yashoda, she never thought that Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. So this seems to be that Yashoda did not know that Krishna is the supreme Lord. But here, Prabhupada, he uses one particular word, that Yashoda pleased her son Krishna. So the main thing is that pleasing Krishna. There is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Atmendriya Preeti, Atmendriya Preeti. So the material life means one who wants to satisfy his senses. Spiritual life means wants to satisfy. You want to satisfy your sense, then that is called kama. Want to please Krishna, then that is prema. And we see that even in kama, there are so many categories. That there is something called pious activity, that you want to please the senses by pious activity. There is impious kama, you want to please your senses by impious activity. So from kama to prema, there are so many different levels. So all the living entities, the material world, they are just from, they are always loitering in the field of kama, and there may be varieties of, right from insignificant ant, or from a demon level of Lord Indra, who is very pious person. Demon is an impious person, but still he is also trying to satisfy his sense. Indra is a very pious person, but his goal is also satisfied. So, but everybody, till Brahma, they're all in the category of kama, Atmendri Preeti. Everybody wants to satisfy. But in the spiritual world, everybody wants to please Krishna, and there also there are different levels. And the supreme level is considered as one who pleases Krishna without knowing his godhood. But Yashoda, Vasudeva, they are also pleasing Krishna, but then they are pleasing Krishna by knowing his godhood. And here we see Yashoda is pleasing Krishna without knowing his godhood. Because without knowing the godhood of Krishna, if Yashoda engages in activities to please Krishna, that is very pleasing to Krishna. Krishna becomes more satisfied when he is served without knowing his godhood position. That's why the position is always high. To just saying in this particular purport, Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita, I just want to speak something about Srivas Thakur. Is the disappearance of Thakur. He is one of the, every day we are chanting his name many times, many times. Lord Chaitanya up in this world in 5 features. One feature is the pure devotee feature. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Bhaktavadharam Bhakta. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhakta expansion is incarnation. Pure devotees, 5 features are one, the absolute sense, but then it is manifest 5 features. Feature that a person, true devotee, led by Shiva. Sadi means the followers of Shivas, Koti, many times Radha Goswami said, Shiva Thakur, he just the devotee of Shiva Thakur. For this Shiva. Yeah, Narada, it's there, the mother tradition that even the Purandara Das incarnation of, so the pure devotees appear here in different places. Just as Krishna is appearing different places, time, so Lord, there are also places. Here we see that stock in One particular speaks much about pastimes in chapter Adi Leela, pastimes of, because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so many Kirtan pastimes, so all those pastimes happened, many pastimes happened in the first talk. She was, it said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always appears in four places. One place is the house of Sachimata. The second place, wherever Kirtana, immediately. Then the third place is place of Agho Pandit. And the fourth place, house of Sangan, famous for the nocturnal times of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, night pastimes. That happened house of many pastimes happen. I'll just read the text alone. Text 5, text 35, text 30, Adi Leela, text 35. Patadiya Kirtana Kare, Ashandi Hasya I say na. The ecstatic chanting was performed with the doors closed, that non believers came to make fun, could not gain and text 36. Thus the non believers, almost burned to ashes, died out of retaliate and various ways. Text 30. One night, while Kirtana was going on inside Shiva's house, Ramana named Gopal Chapal, chief of the non believers, was talkative and very rough in his placed all the paraphernalia of Goddess Durga. Shiva's Thakur, he was becoming, he's very famous person. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was specifically engaging in this in his house. So naturally, there were so many envious people who non-believers. They're really envious, and because of not allowing these non-believers see the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Kirtan, one non-believer named Gopal Chapal was engaging in an activity to somehow disrupt the name of Shiva Thakur. So he was engaging this activity now mentioned. Text 39. On the upper portion of a plantain leaf, he placed such paraphernalia for worship as odafula, turmeric, vermilion, red sandal, rice. Placed a pot of wine beside all this. In the morning, then Shiva Chakra opened his door, saw this paraphernalia. Text 41. Shiva Chakra called for all the respectable gentlemen of the neighborhood, smilingly addressed them as follows. Text 42. Gentlemen, every night I worship the goddess Bhavani. Since the paraphernalia for the worship is present here, now all you respectable brahmanas and members of the higher caste can understand the position. I'll read the purport for purport. According to the Vedic system, there are four castes: the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and below them are the literally members of the fifth are lower than the higher castes, the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and even the Vaishyas were known as Brahmana Sajjana. Brahmanas especially were known as Sajjana, respectable, guided the entire society. If there were disputes in the village, people approached these respectable Brahmanas to So, Srivas Thakur is known as a very respectful Gopal Chapal. He was just thinking how I should engage in an activity so that he'll just lose his position. Then all the assembled men exclaimed, "What is this? What is this? Who has performed such miraculous activity? Who is that sinful?" They called for a sweeper, hardy, all the items of worship far away, and cleans the place by mopping it with a mixture of water and dung. After 3 days, leprosy attacked Gopal Chapal. Blood oozed from sores all over his body. Incessantly covered with germs and insects biting him all over his body, Gopal Chapal felt unbearable pain. Entire body burnt in. Since leprosy is an infectious disease, Gopal Chapal left the village to sit down on the bank of the Ganges. One day, however, he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passing by him as, "My dear nephew, I am your maternal uncle for village relationship. Please see how greatly this attack of leprosy has afflicted. As an incarnation of God, you are delivering so many fallen souls. I am also a greatly unhappy. Please kindly deliver me by your mercy." Hearing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared greatly angry. That angry words chastised, "O sinful person, envious of pure devotees, I shall not deliver you. Rather, I shall have you bitten by these germs. Many millions of you have made Shiva Stakura appear to have been worshipping the goddess Bhavani. Simply for this offense, you will have to fall down into hellish life for 10 million births." This is all description. There are many tantric followers who, wishing to eat meat and drink wine, practice the black art of worshipping the goddess Bhavani in crematorium. Such fools also consider this Bhavani puja to be as good as worship of Lord Krishna. Devotional. But such abominable tantric activities performed by so-called swamis and yogis are herein condemned by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He declares that such Bhavani puja for drinking wine and eating meat quickly plunges one into hellish life. Method of worship itself is already hellish, and its results must also be hellish and nothing more. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is continuing. "I have appeared in this incarnation to kill the demons, fasten demons, and after killing them to preach the cult of devotional." After saying this, the Lord left to take his bath in the Ganges, and that sinful man did not give up his life but continued. When Sri Chaitanya, after accepting the renounced order of life, went to Jagannath Puri, then came back to the village of Kuya. Upon his return, that sinful man took Lord's lot. Lord, being merciful to him, gave him instructions for his bed. "You have committed an offense at the lotus feet of Shiva Thakur," Lord said. "First, you must go there and beg for his mercy. And if he gives you his blessings and you do not commit such sins again, you will be freed from the action." Then the Brahmana Gopal Chapal went to Shiva Thakur, took shelter of his lotus. By Shiva Thakur's mercy, another Brahmana came to see the Krishna performance. The door was closed. He could not enter the hall. He returned home with an unhappy mind. But on the next day, he met Lord Chaitanya on the bank of the Ganges. That Brahmana was expert in talking harshly and cursing. Thus he broke his sacred thread and declared, "I shall now curse you, for your behavior has greatly aggrieved me." Brahmana cursed the Lord, "Shall be bereft of all material happiness." When the Lord heard this, he felt great jubilation. With any faithful person who hears of this Brahmana's curse, Chaitanya, delivered from all Brahmin. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed Mukundadatta with punishment and in that way vanquished all his. Like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is continuing his pastimes in Next, day the two brothers Chaitanya dancing in that time a calamity to yet Shiva Stakura at all sorry. Mahaprabhu caused the dead son speak about then the two this incident is described as follows. One night Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing with Shiva Stakura. One of Shiva Stakura's sons who was suffering from Shiva Stakura was so patient, however, that he did not allow anyone to express sorrow by crying. He did not want to keep thus Kirtana continued without a sound of lamentation. But when the Kirtana was over, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understanding there must have been some calamity in this, and he was then informed about the death of Shiva Stakura, expressed his regret, saying, why was this news not given to me? Went to the place where the son was dead and asked him, my dear boy, why are you leaving the house of Shiva? That son immediately replied, I was living in this house as long as I was trying to live. Now that the time is over, I am going else according to your direction. I am your eternal servant. I must act only according to your desire. Beyond your desire, I cannot do anything. I have no. Hearing these words of the dead son, all the members of Shiva Stakura's family received. Thus, there was no cause for lamentation. This transcendental knowledge is described in chapter 2, text 13. Tata Dehanta. Someone dies, he accepts an sober person, not lament. After the discourse between the dead boy and Sri Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya assured Srivastava, you have lost one son, but Nityananda Prabhu and I are your eternal sons. Never be able to give up your company. An instance of eternal relationship with Krishna. We have eternal eternal same relationships are totally reflected. We have relationships as all the relationships to term in a definite. If we revive our relationship with Krishna, however, by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our eternal relationship will break to come. Next. Thereafter, the Lord charitably bestowed his benediction upon all his devotees, gave the remnant giving her special the translation. There was a tailor who was a meat eater, was sewing garments for Shiva's stock. Lord, being merciful to him, showed him his saying, I have seen, dancing in ecstatic love as though mad, came a purport. There was a Muslim tailor near the house of garments. One day he was very pleased with the dancing of Sri Chaitanya. He was enchanted. Lord, understanding his attitude, showed him his original form. The tailor then began to dance, saying, I have became absorbed in ecstatic love and began to dance Lord Chaitanya. Thus he became one of the four. Was such a that even a Muslim meat eater garments came delivered by somehow Even if our qualities are bad, good devotee, the Prabhupada, of Srila can be delivered. That's our one. What's our, but just a meat eater, just government, few devotee came delivered. We're all in the mission of Prabhupada. Our position is also like that. But there, what's mercy? Srimad Bhagavatam, first talk